Hi, Nature Fam. Sorry, it was to the point where I had to eat. Hey, carry me through. Sorry, I was to the point where I had to eat. That's where I was at. I'm going to post that I'm live. I know I'm late. No. I'm going to send one more invite. Hi, Lorna Souza. How are you? Hi, Sleepy Carter VR. I'm good. Guys, I am borderline diabetic, and so sometimes I get going and I forget to eat. So I apologize. But if I don't eat, I will be sick. We're gonna get started though, because I'm really late. Okay, so tonight we are gonna be talking. How did I get my name? It used to be Nature Guy. No. What was the old name? Hi, Ryland Tanner. My channel encompasses all of nature, not just animals and plants. So I thought it needed a switch up. And so I combined the two. Nature verse, and I ran with it. Um we're gonna be looking with this mythology encrypted thing. Are you Van He? I have no idea what Van He is. Please explain. We are starting this journey by looking at owls. Now, when we do this mythology encrypted, I'm going to be picking either a cryptid or an animal for us to look at for the evening. And I thought owls would be cool because they're just cool. And so we're going to, without any further delay, we're going to start our journey by looking at owls. We're not going to start. I didn't get to Africa. I apologize for that. And I didn't get to the Middle East. But in North America, is where we're gonna start, and we're gonna move east. Great horned owl, definitely. And I didn't get to Mexico, but I covered a lot. Like, we'll probably go an hour, maybe, and I probably could have gone longer, but my hunger and time was running out. The eagle owls. So, a lot of this is not the like mythology. A lot of it is superstition, but we're going to go with it. So, among certain tribes like the Choctaw, the Ojibwe, the Cherokee, and the Cheyenne, there were two owl species in particular that were believed to be flat out dangerous. And these species include the great horned owl and the screech owl. And you're thinking, why? Right? Because they have horns. They have the ear tufts. Some tribes say that the owls are shapeshifters, and still others say that they are the spirits of the dead in the form of an owl. Tribes like the Omaha, Lakota, Cherokee, and the Creek associate owls with spirits. Seeing an owl during the day in some tribes was considered to be an omen of death. Children in some cultures were told to stay in their teepees, their shelters, whatever you want to call them, at night, or the owls might get them. Amongst the Dakota and a few other tribes, owls were a protective spirit that looked over the braves, their warriors. Amongst the Delaware, dreaming about an owl meant that they would become your guardian. Other cultures believed they were carriers of ancient knowledge and bringers of wisdom. The Cheyenne believed that owls were spirits of the night, and they would attach their feathers to their shields or their arms, believing it would give them supernatural abilities like being able to walk without noise, or being able to see in the dark. The Loa and the fox would carry sacred bundles of owl parts while scouting for their enemies. Some tribes believed that the medicine man was able to understand owls, and they could communicate. They would give them news. Among the Cherokee, shamans believed that the eastern screech owl was a consultant in cases of sickness or punishment. And there was a little bit of mixed Hi, Mikey the pack rat. Hi, Kiralee Losella. Sorry if I didn't get your name right. Any questions up to this point? So we just covered some of the tribes in North America. I didn't get to Canada and I didn't get to Mexico. So we're going to head east, and we're going to stop at the UK. Who knows? Maybe. Inspiration for sure. So, in the UK, the barn owl, pretty famous. During the 18th and 19th century, it was believed that screech owls moving past a window, especially if they called, if they screeched, that was an omen that a sick person in the house was going to pass away, and it was imminent. A screeching owl was also used to predict the weather. Hearing it could mean a storm was coming or that cold weather was coming. If it was heard during a storm, then the weather was about to make a change. Highland in B2S. An owl that was bam, 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 to the barn door would keep evil away. If you had alcoholism, you might go to your doctor and they would prescribe raw owl eggs. No, nature fan, not a live owl. If you gave your kids the same eggs, it was believed that would make them immune to alcoholism. If you cooked these eggs until they turned to ashes and you mixed them with other ingredients, you had a potion that would improve one's eyesight. Owl broth was given to children who had whooping cough, and in the Welsh traditions, there is a belief that a pregnant woman who heard an owl while she was pregnant would have a child that was blessed. From here, we move to the Greeks. And Athena, who is goddess of wisdom and war, in case you didn't know, is said to have an owl that was sacred to her. More precisely, it was the little owl, which was said to have been protected by the people and lived inside the Acropolis. If you don't know what the Acropolis is, look at a picture of Athens. It is the big temple that sits up on the hill, and that was dedicated to Athena. It was also said that a magic light contained inside the owls provided night vision. As a symbol of Athena, the owls went to war with the Greeks. If an owl flew over the soldiers, that was a symbol of victory. And in Athens, it was also on the reverse of their coins. Any questions up to this point? Any thoughts up to this point? Hi, Mr. 32K. I forgot to do that. I am sorry. Thank you, Nature Fan. I have low blood. I had a thing of low blood sugar, so I had to eat something. So if you see me eating, ignore it. But yes, our topic is mythology pertaining to owls. Now, in Rome, a different situation. The Romans don't seem to be too keen on owls. An owl on a door, a nature fan, I know what you're going to say, not a live owl, but an owl on a door was seen to avert evil. The hoot of an owl was seen as an omen of death. We see that a lot in different cultures. Owls could be seen as an omen of disaster. To dream of an owl meant that a traveler might be shipwrecked or robbed. And worse yet, witches were said to transform into owls and suck the blood of babies. Hi, John Theocene 1219. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm totally messing up your names. So we are again going to move east, and this time we're going to Japan, where earless owls, that are owls that don't have the little ear tufts, are lucky, whereas owls with ears are seen as demons. Seeing one of these owls flying at night was very, very bad luck. Horned owls will look at a good person, but they will never look at a bad person. I don't know why. In China, owls again can be a symbol of bad luck. They bring misfortune and death. There is a certain hooting call that owls make that is a herald of death. In Australia, it's a little bit weird. Owls are seen as protectors of women and are sacred. They're also a protective spirit and guardians, and in some places in Australia, they are seen as bringers of bad luck, illness, or death. I'm not done. We are going to cover more. Just give me a second. Now, yeah, but when these are not friendly demons. We are going to carry on and hopefully find what I'm looking for. I'm not finding what I was looking for there. That is for sure. Okay. Give me a second, guys. In Afghanistan, it is said that owls gave man flint and iron so he could make fire. In Africa, the owl is a familiar to wizards amongst the Bantu people. In Swahili, owls bring illness to children. Amongst the Zulus, owls are a bird for sorcerers. In West Africa, they are seen again as messengers for wizards and witches. In Arabia, they are a bird of ill omen, the embodiment of evil spirits that carries off children at night. There's that again. Other things are If a man is unalived, an owl will hoot until he is avenged. Amongst the Aztecs, one of the gods had a screech owl on his head. In Belgium, it is believed that a priest offered an owl his church tower to live in if the bird would get rid of the rats and mice that plagued his church. In Borneo, the supreme being turned his wife into an owl after she told secrets to the people. In Burma, the owl was jumped, and that's why his face is flattened. In Brittany, and I'm assuming it's Brittany, France, an owl seen on the way to the harvest is a sign of a good yield. Among the Celts, the owl was a sign of the underworld. Also in China, that's one I gotta do. I thought I did. Guys, I'm pausing really quick to enter something into my into YouTube. Sorry about that. In Greenland, the owl was seen as a source of help and guidance. In France, if a pregnant woman hears an owl hooting, it is an omen that her child will be a girl. Hello, Atari Organic Garden. Among the Incas, the bird was held sacred. In India, here again, it is not morning, it is evening. But thank you. In India, if your child was having seizures, you might use parts of the owl to cure that. By the way, they don't work. If you consumed the eyes of an owl, you could see in the dark. One hoot from an owl in India was an omen of impending death. If there were 2 hoots, you would have success in anything that would be started soon after. 3 represented a woman being married into the household. 4 indicated a disturbance. 5 denoted travel. 6 meant that guests were on the way. 7 was a sign of mental distress. 8 foretold sudden death. 9 symbolized good fortune. And in parts of India, it was believed that owl was married to the bat. The barn owl is also the mount of the Hindu goddess of wisdom. The eagle owl and the brown fishing owl are a synonym for imbeciles. Yeah, it's not true, but we are talking, I'm going to type that up real quick too. But people believe it. Maybe I can't do it on my phone. Yeah, I can. There it goes. No, but definitely not over. In Ireland, if an owl enters your house, you got to get rid of it. And you got to get rid of it now. Um, in Iran, it is said that birds, especially owls, bring bad luck. And it's forbidden to eat owls in Iran. In Israel, the owl represents blindness, desolation, and it's unclean. I've only been to Canada myself. In Jamaica, you would, yeah, we're not going to do that one. In Japan, some of the people believe that the eagle owl is the messenger of the god or a divine ancestor. They would drink a toast to the eagle owl before hunting expeditions. The screech owl warns against danger. They would nail wooden images of owls to their houses in times of famine or pestilence. When Christian soldiers entered this god's temple in Latvia, he flew away as an owl. I think it was the part that I was in. Luxembourg, owls spy treasures, steal them, and guard them. In Madagascar, owls join witches to dance on the graves of the dead. In Malaya, owls eat newborn babies. Lovely, not. In Mexico, owls make the north wind. The little owl is called the messenger of the Lord of the land of the dead. In New Zealand, they are considered an unlucky bird. Disrespectful. What was disrespectful? In Poland, the owl is linked with death. Girls who die unmarried turned into doves. Girls who are married, when they die, turn into owls. Makes no sense. An owl cry heard in or near a home, again, usually meant impending death, sickness, or misfortune. An old story tells how the owl does not come out during the day because it is too beautiful and would be mobbed by other jealous birds. In Persia, wizards use arrows tipped with bewitched. Ew, never mind, forget it. In Newfoundland, the hoot of the horned owl signals the approach of bad weather. That could be. In Puerto Rico, owls were blamed for the loss of coffee grains. It broke. In Romania, the souls of repentant sinners flew to heaven in the guise of a snowy owl. In Russia, people would carry the claws of owls so that if they were killed, they would climb up to heaven. The shamans of the Tartar people could assume the shape of owls. And among the Kalmyks, the owl was sacred because they once saved the life of Genghis Khan. In Samoa, people are actually descended from owls. My favorite animal, I don't have one. I love all animals, to be honest. In Sweden, owls are considered to be associated with witches. Oh, guys, no. No. In order to scare owls away, in Transylvania, farmers would walk around without clothes on. And I don't know. That's really weird. I was hoping to have a little bit more myth from it. Owls were also supposedly associated with Minerva, who is the goddess equivalent of Athena. They were said to be associated with Minerva. They were also supposedly prophetic. Ashes of an owl's feet were an antidote to snakebite. In China, the owl was the masters of the thunderbolt. Also, owl ornaments were placed at the corners of houses to protect them from fire. Owls in the Middle East were looked at to represent the souls of people who died unavenged. It seems like a lot of these animals died, that their deaths were unavenged. Among the Hopi, which are people from the United States, the burrowing owl was their god of death and the night. It's also the guardian of fires, and was responsible for germination of seeds. So very important part of their belief system. So that's what I have on that subject. Our next step into the craziness that is mythology and animals, I believe, you listen to me like podcast. I'm changing gears a little bit. I thought I had way more stuff, and that happens sometimes. Especially when I'm really busy, like today. Videos will be coming, I promise. Videos will be coming. Tonight was sort of so our next visit into mythology will be in May. Yeah, I talked about that. May 16th are cryptids. We're going to look at Nessie, Champ, Ogopogo. Sorry if I messed that name up. And U28. And then August 4th, we're doing Skunk Ape and Thunderbird. In September, we're doing cats. And we'll do that sort of like we did today. And that's the end of that. So, those are some exciting things that are coming up on that score. I was late today. I apologize for that. I usually run about an hour. I'm not gonna, if you guys want to stick around, you can. I'm not gonna, if you decide that you want to leave at 8 or at 7, that is fine. Our next live, which is tomorrow, is going to be our monthly roundup. Yep. And then home science lab, we're going to do an experiment. I don't know what experiment we're doing yet. Also, very, very important, I am going to be having some dental work done on March 5th. I'm not going live, potentially, at 1 p.m. for the Friday live next week. I'm going to try and get videos up, but I don't know if I'm going to get one up for Thursday. Or I'll have one up for Thursday. I don't know if I'll have one up for Friday. It just depends on how I feel. we also start, and we've done one of these already. I should have done cats this week. That's how I do them. I do Friday's video on Thursday. That's how I always do them. I've always done it that way. I just assumed everybody knew that. I try to do, my goal was to do 7 videos a week. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see the LOL. I apologize. We are going to be doing a human history and nature episode, and it's going to be cats and the church. There was a big stink in the Catholic Church about cats. We're going to talk about that. Oh, yeah. I have no idea. Mainly because 10,000 other things. But we also have, if you're into ethnobotany, we're going to be doing weird things that plants were used for that have nothing to do with ethnobotany, as well as some other stuff thrown in there. Video wise, I have no idea what I'm doing. Video wise, coming up, we have red-eared slider, buckeye trees, mermaids as a cryptid, horsehair worm, Swanee Mexican shell, Swanee River, and karst. Yes, not the current Catholic Church, but way back. So just so you know, there's no conflicts between the Catholic Church and me. I go live Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturday at 1 p.m. and again at 6 p.m. Usually. Thank you for the likes, guys. That helps people find me. I'm going to open it up to questions or answers. D-Man could probably explain that better than I can. But yes. D-Man, do you want to give a real brief explanation of what that is? I know it has something to do with limestone, right? Okay, that's what I thought. But I will talk more about it later on. We do, I believe, have some of that in southern Indiana. Or sort of more southern Indiana. I'm going to open it up to chat. That's interesting. I had to look at my phone. Okay. I can reverse it. I think. Actually, no. That's not what I wanted to do. There will be some dates in the near future that I will need to go in and make some changes to. I already have Rudyard Slider video. The script is written. So that's good news. As is the script for, I think I basically have the script done. Rudyard Slider, I know is done. I'm doing it as an invasive species. The Buckeye video is done. Mermaids is done. The horsehair worm I'm working on. I'm not sure. Only because life all of a sudden has been really crazy. Another thing, I decided to do Spider Week after this next block of videos. And for that week, I will be doing Black Weaver Spider, Dark. I'm not taking suggestions for that. I will announce it tomorrow morning. But I'm not taking suggestions for that one. We have Black Weaver Spider, Dark Fishing Spider, Common House Spider, Red Widow, Northern Black Widow, Woodlouse Hunter Spider, and the Red Spotted Ant Mimic Spider. That is already done and finished. So I actually did that on this channel at some point. No, it's an actual spider. An actual species of spider. Fun fact, I have a little friend that lives right above my computer monitor. I'm not doing a Shark Week because if I called it that, I would get in trouble. And I don't have my big calendar, my big lineup around to do that. So that, and I think I've done sharks already. I feel like I have. But if I do sharks, I'm not revisiting ones that I've already done. That's just not happening. So I will have to figure that out if I decide to do it. Because Shark Week is taken. That name is taken, and I am not getting in trouble. Um, but we are going to be usually no. But doing a Shark Week isn't out of the picture. Um, I believe I have planned Garden Week, which is going to be a whole week of basically the history of food. Um, I want to do a week's worth of long ago, so like extinct animals from way in the past. I might do a week of is it going to make a good pet? So we may throw those into the mix a little bit more often than I do. But I personally love spiders, so but I figured the red widow is in Florida, northern black widow somewhere. We might have them up here, I don't know. But and I have to see because some of these topics that I don't know if the video is going to be long enough until I actually make it up. Again, Penguin Week is fine, but I will not be covering species I've already covered. I need to message. I just thought about something. I need to message my not enough info on each penguin to fill up a video, though. Oh, there's plenty of information out there. With most animals, there's plenty of information. Good night, nature fan. No, yeah, there's most penguins, there's plenty of information out there. An alligator week? No, because there's only 2 species of alligator. And I think I've covered both of them. I want to say. Yes. And it was awesome. Yeah, I covered Chinese alligator myself. Oh, not a problem. And I've covered the American alligator. So, alligators unless there's a topic that is with those two, alligators are done. Unless there's like a side topic that pops up. When it comes to penguins, okay, penguin. I've covered the emperor. I've only covered one penguin. Interesting. I don't cover mythology typically. But crocodiles. Is that what you're thinking, John? Are crocodiles? I don't know how much crocodiles might make for a longer video. Man, people. I don't know what's going on, but my computer is just being loud tonight. Yeah. Those are ideas. The earliest, though, I could really fit them in would be a while from now. Unless something gets switched up, which sometimes that happens. Like tonight, I thought I'd have way more information, and probably if I dug a little bit deeper and got started a little bit earlier, because I started at 4 o'clock. Or was it 3:30? Sometimes these things take a little bit of time to get going. I think I managed about a half hour. And when it comes to sharks, sand tiger, thrasher, no. Whale shark, bronze whaler shark, Greenland shark, high fairway finders golf, great white shark, basking shark, mackerel sharks, blue shark, megamouth shark, great white, bull shark. I'm doing good. I'm not seeing it. Does it have another name? Because I know that one is actually still with us. And I know there's stuff that I have planned. I know there's stuff that I have planned that I just haven't got to. No. And like I said, there might be stuff that I have planned that I don't have in front of me. Because I had this big, long list of topics that are already planned that I add into my little file that I maintain. Oh, thank you. They are super cool. Only because I had to go outside a bunch of times and my mind is on something that I have to take care of next week. And yeah. They were yeah, they were yeah. I haven't done Goblin Shark. I don't think. No. Thank you, Fairway Finders Golf. I have not done Goblin Sharks. So that one is open. Nope. It may be planned, but we haven't done it. Or at least it doesn't show up. Okay, guys. I am going to call it done for the evening. I appreciate you guys coming in. Thank you for coming in. If you haven't done so already, make sure you give the video a like. We might have. I will be on tomorrow. We're going to do the end of the month stuff. So I will see you guys later. Thanks for coming in. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.